Okay, this is Avarice. We're back with some more Mass Effect Andromeda news. I always say first and foremost, but in this time particularly it is true. Pretty much there has been a lack of videos for quite some time, since December last year, mid-December, and the reason being, well, I went to the United States on the 10th of January, and there was really no time beforehand to do any videos, at least any videos that take sometimes hours of research. Like this video I'm about to do took 6 to 8 hours of research, and as I was saying, there was really no time to do it. But after that, when we got back on February the 5th, for several days, jet lag, I'm sure that can be excused, but the whole point was I have not had any motivation to make any Mass Effect Andromeda news videos, partly because of the fact that they do take so long, but because there has been someone in my family who has been exceptionally sick. So sick that there have been several times where they were, how would I put it, if their health had not improved, they would have died. Now this person is slowly getting better, but it is still quite worrying, and you could say, yeah, well, making videos that calm you down, it would get your mind off things, which is true, but at the same time, the whole thing with the research taking that long, it wasn't really feasible at that time, but now that this person is getting better, it's a bit more feasible. So yes, hopefully I will be able to get back on track with the Andromeda news, as well as the mod reviews, and on the other channel, the Let's Plays. But basically, I hope people can bear with me, because as I said, this person, who I cannot name for privacy reasons, was almost deathly sick. So yes, anyway, that's it for this little intro. Let's get right into it. So, I've missed quite a bit apparently. I have been looking quite extensively, or here and there I should say, but over the past few weeks, at things that have been released, things that have come to light, and I have quite a bit of catching up to do. And the fact that there's only 21 or 22 days to go before the game is released means I better get a move on. So for this video, we're going to be talking about the squadmates that are going to be featured in Andromeda. Now, there is a bit of speculation as to the amount of squadmates you'll have. Some people say 5, though that has since been disproven by the inclusion of Jaal, or I call him Jaal because it's more... whatever, let's just call him Jaal, but the name sounds Scandinavian, so let's get that out of my head. His name is Jaal, he is Angaran, and basically he is the 6th squadmate that has been confirmed. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So anyway, these squadmates, there is not going to be as many as in Mass Effect 2, pretty much because the developers, creators, designers, the entire team has said they want to flesh the companions, squadmates, out much more. Basically, they want to give them more dialogue and richer personalities. Now, of course, you'll be able to bring them all along with you on missions. They will have their own classes and skill trees, and they'll have extensive interactions with Ryder. I'm guessing more than likely with Ryder's entire family, whether you're playing a male, in that case it would be your sister and vice versa, your father. But I'm hoping also that these squadmates will have more interactions given certain, how would I put it? Like, for example, you'd go to Omega with Miranda and she'd say something. Like, I hope it's going to be a lot more extensive than that, because you had to rely on certain cues. Like, you'd go up to a place and she'd only talk about Omega in that one instance of time. I hope it's going to be a lot more extensive. Basically, that would certainly add to the fleshing out of these companions. Now, as I did say though, we know they're not going to be as many squadmates as Mass Effect 2, which had 10 in the base game, and 12 in the DLC. Kasumi and Zaid added by their respective DLCs. As I said, they want to flesh out the companions even more, but considering how fleshed out they already were, that's going to be quite difficult in my opinion. I look forward to seeing how they're going to do it, but as I said, they're going to have a bit of a... technically the game's finished, but there's a bit of a task ahead of them to please the players and please the audience. You had a lot of immersive characters, like Rex was a lot more than just an angry Krogan who liked to headbutt people and be kick-ass. He genuinely cared for his people. The only thing that made him stop was the fact that they didn't give a shit about themselves. But this was rekindled when the Reaper invasion started, the Genophage was ended, blah blah blah. You saw who he really was. The same thing was true with Garrus. He was much more than a typical grunt. He was a really, really sensitive Turian. I almost said Vicarian. That's his last name. Yeah, he was really sensitive. You got to see who he really was, particularly if you romanced him, and he had genuine fears. He was afraid of losing you, basically. There was also Morden, the Solarian, the crazy Solarian who acted like a hamster on coffee, according to Kelly Chambers. Wow, say that 10 times quick. He stuck to his guns the whole way through, but he was noble enough to admit when he was wrong. He had edited the Genophage, made it more powerful so the Krogan couldn't overcome it, and then he saw that that was actually a big mistake when the Reapers came along, so he sacrificed his life to make sure the Reapers were finished, or at least that the Krogans could play a part in this, because every galactic race had to. He had genuine loves and hatreds as well, and there was a lot more to him than met the eye. The same thing with Thane Krios. He was, well, I think in the Citadel DLC the characters explained it best, for example, when Edie, the AI, said, well, she tried to make him laugh, and he never showed interest or never laughed, but, well, he didn't laugh, but what she saw as just indifference was him hiding, masking a great grief, and basically he got a chance to turn around his life in few ways that anyone ever could. Yeah, I should say, in ways that few mortals ever could, basically. He was exceptionally intriguing, and when he died at the hands of, was it Keiji? I forget his name, the assassin. Yes, I'm glad I got revenge on him, but anyway, when he died there, I actually felt like they had done a good enough job to move people to tears. I was almost in tears. You could feel that he had sought redemption all of his life, and he finally accepted that he had gotten it. So all I'm saying is that all of these characters, they were already very fleshed out, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how BioWare does this even more, to an even larger extent. So we know so far that there are 6 confirmed squadmates. Now, I'm going to talk about these squadmates very shortly, but Mac Walters, the creative director or developer, last year said that a squadmate had actually been cut during development. Now, Walters did say it is possible that Walters uses the masculine pronoun there, will return, but with so little time before launch, he might have to be added via DLC. Now, Eurogamer's interviewer, when they interviewed him, assumes that he was Solarian, and Walters seems to accept this suggestion, saying part of the decision that to cut him was that we already have a Solarian on the crew. Now, without further ado, let's talk about these aforementioned squadmates, basically going over their important parts and what we really know of them so far, but I will be adding profiles to the 5 companions that have profiles so far. Jaal does not at the moment of this video being released, but if until the point where it is released a profile comes out, I will add it in as well. So anyway, let's get into it. We have 2 starting companions who will be with you, much like Ashley and Caden were. So these companions are human, and first and foremost we have Lieutenant Cora Harper. Now, she's your second in command aboard the Tempest, and basically a bit of a bio on her. Cora joined the Systems Alliance to train her powerful biotic talents, eventually transferring to a Nasari commando unit before joining the Andromeda Initiative as Alec Ryder's second in command. Professional and loyal, Cora knows the rules well enough to bend them if necessary, lending Huntress tactics and her biotic strength to the Pathfinder's mission. Now, throughout the previous trilogy, we have received evidence that the Asari Commandos are pretty much elite tactical units, so that's going to be cool to see how she will be fleshed out and how she will be, well, how adaptable she will be in combat. Now, as I said, she's your second in command, as well as Alex before you. Alec. He's before you. You get what I mean. Now, basically, when the game is taken to Andromeda, she starts out on the Hyperion, the human arc, with you, and with the next character. But what is curious is that she was slated to be Alec Ryder's replacement as Pathfinder in the event that he was unable to fulfill his duties. Now, the fact that the player character assumes this role kind of suggests that there will be some internal issues present, issues that will have to be handled. And considering she is a romance option for a male rider, basically, well, you can see where this is going to go. Now, as for whether Alec dies or not, although I kind of think this is not likely with the evidence that's coming out. So yes, either there is a massive conflict brewing that we have to solve, in that she's jealous that the player character assumed this role, or she willingly stepped down, saying, hey look, we're in an unknown galaxy, what happened to Alec is too much, yeah, I'll follow you, but you do the finding. That's just one of the options, but hey, who's to say? We don't know yet, but I'm sure we will find out. Now, as for companion / squadmate number 2, who starts with you from the beginning, his name is Liam Kosta. He is a crisis response specialist with civilian tactical training. Liam learned of the Andromeda Initiative after meeting former Alliance personnel at a post-hostility relief action. His multidisciplinary skills set him apart, and Liam was hand-picked to support the Pathfinder team. He is an idealist willing to take risks for the good of the initiative. From what I'm getting from the research that I've done, Liam is very much a rider's man, and clearly I don't mean anything sexual by that, of course, but people take it that way. I mean, he will stick with your decision no matter what, though he is apparently very brash and very... I don't even know the right word. But he is apparently the first to throw down in combat. Now, as I said, he's the second starting squad mate. Technically the first, actually, because he is the first one who joins you, but he's one of two start. You know what I mean. And he wields 2 overclocked omniblades in combat. Side note, this does imply, combined with the ability to actively switch to melee weapons, having them as their own category, that the PC, the player character, will be able to dual wield various melee weapons as well. We have seen the player character hitting people with Krogan warhammers and shivering people with shivs, so that would be awesome. Go in all stealthy and then basically just shiv people in the back with overclocked omniblades. Now, Liam was handpicked by Alec Ryder himself due to his multidisciplinary skills, so they're 10 times quick as well. Now, Liam has already made a name for himself as a security specialist, so yes, he will be a valuable addition, especially considering how much more emphasis is placed on squad tactics. Now, he's a Londoner and thus he has a British accent. I don't even know why I put that in, but hey, some people like the British accent.